Finish.
Okay, so now we both need to go share it. Does it show up on your page? Okay, we got a couple of people on. Give us a second, folks. We're just trying to get this shared out, and then we'll get started. Let's see. You got it?
Yeah, I'm just trying. I feel like neither one of us are in the camera very well.
Okay, you come over some more.
Oh, let me mute this one.
All right, we got some people tuning in. We got to get this shared with the people. Show live tab page. Okay. All right, we got that going. Let's see. Ourselves live. Can you see the comments right here?
Yeah, I'm going to be typing in here too.
Okay, SB Thomas, thanks for joining in.
That's tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay, thanks, tomorrow. Okay, all right, we good. Folks are slowly joining in. Let's get this shared with the people.
Hey. Office hours. So today we're going to talk about a few things. One, I'm going to ask everybody about their feelings around the inauguration. Do you think things are going to change? Yes or no? And have a whole little agenda here. I want to hear some of your goals. And what are you doing for self-care this year so far? I want to know that. And then we're going to shout out some Black-owned businesses that we like to do. And then we're going to have this wonderful Ghanaian man over here.
We're going to do that again?
Yep. We want to hear the Ghanaian accent.
Okay.
Let me get closer. We want to hear that. Don't you guys want to hear that?
Okay, I got it posted on now we just post it in one more place, and then we can go ahead and get started.
All right.
Who else do we have on? We can't tell who's on.
Can't tell who's on. Just say hey in the comments.
In the comments. Drop your name in the comments if you're on, so we can know who we're talking to.
All right, you ready to get started?
Yeah, let's get started.
All right.
Okay, my frat brother, what's up, man? Glad you made it on. we having a versus moment over here trying to get set up.
Right.
I'm Ashanti. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I can be
Keisha
Cole.
Keisha Cole. An hour late. We're not an hour late, but we're a little late. But we were having some technical difficulties. I set her up as the co-host, and I was the host of the event. But for whatever reason, it wouldn't let her start the actual event, so I had to get us going. But we all share it with your folks.
Did they get my joke? My Keisha Cole joke? Did y'all? Do you get it? You get it?
Oh,
Remember last night?
You had to go put a different outfit on.
I know. Well, I would not be wearing anything like what she wore. This is not my style. But the whole event, I'm a woman, but it just caught my attention, the entire verses. Hopefully you got a chance to tune in to support those two Black women. That was an awesome moment for me because I love Ashanti and I also love Keisha Cole because in my head she's my friend. We have very similar upbringings and backgrounds, and so that's always been somebody I can relate to.
You know, I thought it was actually a good show. I kind of fell asleep though because I was
tired. I kept
tired.
asking you if you were falling asleep.
Well,
no.
You said, "Are you asleep?"
No.
You said, "Are you asleep?" No, I wasn't asleep, but I was nodding. Not because it was boring, but I was just tired. It was a little boring. I'm just kidding. It wasn't boring. It wasn't boring. I had a long day. We've been working hard all week. And our week is not done. We still have some things going today and tomorrow. We need a vacation. Where you want to go?
Where I want to go, we can't go.
Okay, where you want to go?
I would love to be in Hawaii right now. I've never been to Maui. That was on my list. What was on my list before COVID was Asia. I wanted to go to China. We almost booked Bangkok. China. We were going to China in May of 2020.
Oh, yeah, we did.
I mean, literally, we had it up to book it, and something changed our minds. What was it?
You was like, wait. Like
yeah, something. I am bad about that. I'll say, well, I'm not exactly 100% sure, so let's just wait. And then we end up waiting, and typically the price goes up.
Yeah. But I'm glad we waited though, because we didn't need to be going to China in May of 2020. Well, yeah, we wouldn't have been able to go. But anyway, all right. So we got some people tuned in. Thank you guys. We did this first office hours last summer, and we had fun, and then we just stopped. And so we thought, you know what? There's so much happening, and then there's so much not happening. We'll bring our voices to the people and just have fun with it. Get on here, talk. Share our perspective and answer questions that you guys have. We both have office hours on campus with students. We figure we can do it with our friends and family and people on social media.
So I see some comments. Hey, Martisha, Rashida, tomorrow. So I'll try not to do my whole Keisha Cole Ashanti thing. The whole.
Hold on, let me get a hairbrush. Like Keisha Cole was holding the hairbrush the whole time.
Okay. All right, so the first question up is, let's start with you, Isaac. We have a new president, we have a new vice president, and breaking all kind of records and traditions and every historic all the way over in so many ways. Right. I want to know, do you think that things are going to change?
Things will change. They are going to change. They've already started changing. Biden came in and dropped a bunch of executive orders. I don't know if you guys paid attention. He kind of walked in and slid his priority list on the desk and got some stuff moving. So he lifted the ban on the Muslim countries.
Oh, okay.
You remember Trump put that in place?
I do remember that.
So Biden lifted that. So now we don't have that Muslim ban, quote unquote. He put in an executive order that I read about today that's going to bring some funding to Black communities and Black businesses. So Biden and Harris came in and they said, look, we're about to undo a lot of this stuff that happened and get the ball rolling. So I think more change is definitely going to come. Oh, and they're working on that student loan thing too. So Biden, keep pushing, man. I'm with you. You got to support over here. Get all that wiped off the table.
Hey, student loans. Woo.
Yeah.
Student loans.
We couldn't have got where we are without them, you know. And so, yeah, anyway. But yeah, yes, to answer your question, I think things have changed already and they're going to continue to change.
So I would love to hear your thoughts out there. Just drop in the chat. What if you think something's going to change? What do you think might change the most? I would love to hear. So just type in there and we can shout that out.
While we're waiting, why don't you answer the question?
Oh, yeah. Is travel still restricted? Travel is still restricted. And who knows for how long. You can travel outside of the country but you'll have to take COVID tests, and coming back in, you'll need a COVID test before the U.S. will let you back in. But it's just more so of the risk involved. But there's so many places. My bestie, Colleen, as well. So I got my bestie tomorrow on here, and Colleen, I don't know if she's on right now, but she said it best. There's so many places in the United States we've never seen. So let's just take this opportunity to drive around the U.S. and visit some places we've never been.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
And we should.
Yeah.
Take some road trips, right?
Yeah. So I think things are going to change. I do believe we'll have a lot more hope. And I do, obviously, there will be changes. Biden and Harris will be making changes. I just hope that all of those people that we saw who broke into the Capitol and vandalized the Capitol and tried to stop the processes, those people are still here.
Right.
They're still all around us. They didn't go anywhere. So that part has me really wondering, what are they doing behind the scenes?
Yeah. Well, if you remember, before Obama, there was not a lot of that outward expression.
Mm-hmm.
And then Obama popped on the scene and the Tea Party movement showed up, which kind of gave people, it emboldened folks to come out with their racism. And I think Trump's presidency just pushed that even more forward. So it's not going anywhere. It's always been there. I do think that the people that have been championing racism being on the table aren't there anymore. So it'll likely go back behind the scenes, but it's not going away.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. You reading that question?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think there will be changes, but praying this COVID is finally maintained and hopefully gone for good. And I know you being a nurse tomorrow, this is big for you.
What's the message?
And it is, I'm praying as well. If you have children, drop a yes if you have children, or if you have nieces, nephews, young people around you, you know how hard this is for them. So it's hard on us to be homebound, but their children are really struggling with not being around other children. And they understand that why they have to be at home, but what are some things we can do, especially when it's cold and they can't go outside and play as much? That's been really hard.
Yeah, I think it's been tough for the kids, and I couldn't imagine being a kindergartner or elementary school kid and really being bound to the house. My mom used to send my brother and I outside, and she would say, if you come back in, you got to stay in. And so we would just be outside half the day across the neighborhood or whatever, just figuring it out. Can't do that.
No. That's not how she said it.
What are you talking about?
How did she say it?
You want me to say it in her accent?
I want to know how Mama Rejoice would
how
tell
she would say
you
it.
have to stay out or come in.
Well, I'm a man, so I can't get my mom's voice just right, but
We'll
I can get the accent right. Isaac, you and your brother should go outside. You are making too much noise in the house. If you come back inside, you stay inside. Go outside. And we would go outside, and we would be out there until the street lights came on, and then come back in the house. So yeah, that was it.
What if you came in before? Let's say you came in 30 minutes and you were thirsty. What would she?
No, we wouldn't come in. We would just go to the backyard and get water at the water hose. Because if you went in the house, you had to stay in the house. So
she was serious about it. If you came in, you were staying in.
You couldn't that back and forth. No, she didn't like the in and out. So we would just go to the backyard, hit the water hose, and then get back on our bikes and keep it moving. And if you had to use a bathroom, you pee outside. Because mom just did not like all that back and forth. And I get it. You know, it's like you in and out the house. She would say either stay in or stay out.
Yeah,
so,
I do that with the boys now.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So
there's just something annoying about hearing the screen door hit.
Right.
Over
well,
and
there's
over
just no
again.
point. It's like either you're going to stay outside or you're going to be in the house.
Yeah.
So kids can't really move around like that now, you know, because of COVID. And so
those water hose days.
Somebody said that. So, you know, that whole childhood experience is just different. I mean, the world is just different for us. You and I, we will move around town. We can't really move around town like that. We like to go out and eat. Mm-hmm. You know, we're getting food to go. we got lucky. We went to Burger Republic in the Gold Chair in Nashville a week or two ago. We went and nobody was in there. And
yeah,
so
that's the only way. I see him give me the side eye sometimes, but then he completely understands because he's more extroverted than I am. If we went to a restaurant and there are people there, I don't want to eat there. I just don't want to because I have to take my mask off to eat, and other people have to take their mask off to eat. So we typically will eat outside, or if there is, we had the whole restaurant to ourselves when we went to what was it, Lemongrass?
Lemongrass.
We went to Lemongrass,
the top spot. That was
and
nice.
we had the entire restaurant to ourselves. So sometimes you can find restaurants that are off the beaten path that you've never been to before. You don't know anything about it, and you just pop in there, and there's no one there. And so I love being able to just have the restaurant to myself. But it's very rare that we do that. We mainly pick food up or we will have it delivered. So we've spent a lot of money on delivery fees, unfortunately. But I do cook a lot these past, so we can transition to the next topic. Because I want to know how everyone's doing this year with their goals so far and what have you accomplished. So drop that in the chat. I want to know, what have you accomplished so far this year? And if you haven't accomplished it yet, what is it that you're working on? I want us all to kind of help each other through this. So far this year, we have both been, in Isaac's words, we've been in the trenches.
Oh, yeah, we've been in the trenches.
Been in
the trenches for sure. Well, not just us.
Yeah, everybody has been.
Yeah, but we have for sure.
So, Isaac, tell us, just keep it brief. What is something that was a goal for you this year that you started working on that helps others? And then I want to see in the chat, I want to know, what are you working on for yourself, and if you're working on something that helps others that we should know about. And I know some of you have been creating things, and I want you to drop it in there. 80-20 if you're listening. Jamie Clay, if you're on. I know I've seen products. Josh, if you're on, drop it in there. Share it in the chat. What do you have to share with other people? We want to know. And we want to share that. All right.
So I've worked on a few things, but what I'll say is my book, because I believe that that's something that's going to really help a lot of people. So I'm working on my first book. Is called Black Boy Fly, and it's something that I've been thinking about since 2016, really. But I just started last summer putting more effort into writing, and this year I've also been writing. I'm going to release it this summer, and it's basically a book about my journey and my life story. I think it's going to benefit a lot of people because I'm going to talk about what it means to be Black and also have a Ghanaian ancestry and living in this Black American world, but having kind of those two hats that I'm wearing. And I'll just kind of summarize it. So growing up, we were the African family down the street or the African family next door. And so all of my Black friends looked at us and said, y'all are Africans, except y'all don't talk funny. That's how they would say with my siblings and I. Your parents talk funny. Y'all don't talk funny, but y'all are Africans. And so it was always like being an outsider when you were around Black people, but also being an outsider when you're around African people because you don't speak the language. So my whole life has been like that. I don't always fully relate to Black people. I don't always fully relate to African people. I'm on like my own little island. So my book is going to be about that. That's what I've been working on. And my goal for this year is to release it this summer.
Okay, good. All right. So we've got some things in the chat that I want to share out because this is amazing. So, and if you typed it in there, I'm guessing you don't mind sharing it, right? Because this is being recorded. So we've got Martisha has lost 4 pounds this year. That is amazing. So I put in there to ask how, because I want to know how, because I'm gaining weight. And I know I'm not the only one that's gaining weight. So how are you losing weight? I need to know that. Also, we have, scrolling through the comments here. Oh, how do you pronounce the name?
Ural.
Ural?
Yeah, Ural.
Saved up enough to make an extra mortgage payment. Now, see, this is my wheelhouse. So this is where I'll get excited because I love paying off debt. I love paying bills. I love saving money. I love investing money. I love going into my personal capital, seeing how much my growth was from yesterday to today, just based on the stock market. So how did you do it? He says that he downloaded an app called Digits that automatically saves a set amount each day. All right, so Digit. So there's we'll have to look that up because there's a thing here, automatically saving versus you trying to tell yourself how much you need to save. If you have a tool that you can use to do it, hands down, do that, because now he just shaved years off of his mortgage by that one extra payment.
Hey, Earl, if you have a referral link for Digit, put it in the comments so that we can go download it and maybe you get a referral bonus or something. But thank you for that.
Yeah, pop that in there. Also, MyFitnessPal tracking. A lot of times we don't really like to spend time on organization and planning, but that is really how you achieve your goals. So Martisha has her MyFitnessPal tracker. If I want to gain weight or lose weight, and there have been times I have wanted to gain weight, this is not one of those times, but it will help you say if you're eating enough calories or not with how much activity you've done, so you can just easily track that. Awesome.
And then she said her Apple Watch too.
And Apple Watch.
So I definitely wear my Apple Watch. I love it for working out and for fitness. And I actually have friends who will start challenges, and that'll kind of prompt me to go and work out or exercise. We kind of fell off of our fitness routine. I think it was really hard to maintain a fitness routine in 2020 because we just weren't living in a normal time. During the warmer months, we kept a good workout routine going. The moment it got cold, it's just like something happens to us the moment it gets cold outside. We gotta get to our warm weather location because the winter just zaps all of that fitness out of us, and it's like let's get these donuts going.
Well,
not
other
donuts,
thing,
but chocolate chip cookies and stuff.
Yeah, we're cookie people. We eat a lot of cookies in this house. It's so bad we hide the cookies from the kids. We'll buy our own cookies that got flavors that we like, and we hide them in a separate place because
they'll eat them.
They'll eat them all. Yeah. And we like to eat cookies. But back on track. So, with the fitness, that's really hard. So basically, I've just been trying to watch my carbs during this time period because I know the cookies. I save carbs for cookies. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I won't eat bread because if I know I'm going to have a cookie later, that makes sense. So weight is two things. It's how much your body moves and how much you consume. So if you know you're not moving much, you can't eat more, or even you can't even eat the same as you were eating when you were going to work, driving, or walking to work, or walking through the buildings at work. You just can't because you're not burning the same calories. Right. So you have to be really careful about what you're eating. So if you feel like you're hungry eating snacks, you really have to just snack on vegetables. Zucchini is a very good vegetable to snack on, and it can take on really the taste of anything. So you can eat it with hummus, chicken salad, tuna, things like that, instead of chips or crackers that are high carb that will stick to you.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good approach. I don't know who is, Euro says it too. Mm-hmm. I miss the gym so much. We tried to go to the gym last week, and there were just way too many people in the gym, and so we left. Yeah.
There's times when we have the tracker, and if it has just one tick mark, which means there's pretty much nobody there, then maybe we'll go. But we left. If there's people, I'm not doing it. I have to do my part as much as possible. I'm doing my part and staying home. Okay, it's hard. So let me talk about some of the things that what I have accomplished. I have had a blast facilitating goal-setting parties. So women, some of you were at the parties who are on here tomorrow. I know you were there. I have had a blast. So I'm doing another one on Saturday because some people have wanted to do their own private goal-setting party. So if you didn't have a goal-setting party and you want to have a goal-setting party, let me know. But there are some additional party opportunities that I have coming up. And I'm gonna pop the events calendar into the chat here.
Can guys participate in any of this stuff? Or are these women only? Y'all
So,
turning up on Zoom, but it's women only?
Some of it, because we might have to talk about you guys. Who knows, right?
Gotcha.
So, on February 1st, we have an event. It is a book club. No, you do. I got a text early this morning. Do you? Yeah, she did. We had fun. We had our Beyonce playing. February 1st. Everyone can attend this. We have a goal setting. We have a book club.
Oh yeah, that's the book.
Think and Grow Rich. This is a Black choice. All right. This is the version that is by Dennis Kimbrough. And you might not have read the book. You might not have finished the book. You may have read the book years ago. Many of us read it years ago. We need to read it again. I'm trying to have my 10-year-old read it. And he's like, Mommy,
it's a little too dense.
He's going to read it, though, because he needs to eat. How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. So Monday, we're having this event. You do not need to have read the entire book. Pick a section that you like. Read the section that you want that sticks out to you. All right. And come and let's talk. The whole purpose is for us to come together as a community and relate to each other and just discuss, because that's what we're missing in this COVID-19, COVID-20, and COVID-21 age. We're missing that ability to come together. So grab the book. It's on my website, LakishaSimmons.com. There's a book club link. Click the link. Grab the book. February 1st. That evening, we will discuss. Now, for what I have accomplished this year that I'm so proud of, because what I have heard throughout the goal setting parties is that women want to talk about money. They want
trying to get to the bread. And
I am here for it. I'm here for it. I just never thought that people, I don't know what I was thinking, but I've always been very money conscious. I grew up poor. I have a lot of insecurities about being poor. And so I have created some workshops. The very first financial workshop we're going to have, pull up the calendar, is going to be February 11th. There will be two. There's one that's just level one, just straight up. I need to just start with the basics of money. Okay, so if you need to start with the basics of money, which is how do I spend less? How do I even know how much I'm spending? How do I just get control of my finances so I can get organized and come up with a system? That's level one. You need to be there. So I'm going to type a coupon code in here. Some of you that are in the chat have already signed up for several courses. So that's awesome. If you signed up, write in there which one that you signed up for in the chat. And also on that night, I'm doing Break the Chain. So this is all about debt reduction. So if you need to get from up under some debt and you really need some assistance with how to do it. So I had almost $40,000 in student loans, and I paid those student loans off in less than 5 years. So I can chime in on how to help you with that. And one that I know there's some people on here that have talked to me about this before, your 401k at work. You have no idea how to use them. You have no idea what it is. 401, 457, 403, HSA, PPO. We have all these things. We have no idea what some of it is or how you even go about investing in a 401k. What specific equities do you buy, or do you buy bonds? Do you buy stocks? How do you know which ones? How do you know how much? How do you know when you can retire? When can you get it out? Can you not? All those questions we're going to cover on February 18th at 7 p.m. It's called 401 Who? Huh? 401 what? 401 Who?
So you've been busy.
I've been busy. Far this year. I have been busy.
That's good. So you've been working on your finance stuff. I've been working on my book. What are your thoughts about 2021 overall? What do you think this year? How do you think your life is going to change this year?
Ooh.
I can answer that question.
Yeah, you go first.
Yeah.
That's deep.
I'm turning 40 this year. So my life is going to change in terms of me going from my 30s to my 40s. So that's the first thing. But I think, too, I'm closing some chapters and I'm starting some new ones this year. and I'm excited about the transition, right? I'll be finishing my PhD. I'll be releasing a book. I'll be turning 40. I mean, those things, those are three really important things. I'll be applying for tenure at Tennessee State. You know, that's number 4. I don't know. I can think of some more. There's already been some amazing opportunities that have come my way in just 22 days of this year, and I think that there are going to be more. So I'm hoping I'll gain more exposure and have more impact. I think 2021 is going to be a really good year. I know it's challenging for many, including us, but I am going to focus on trying to maximize the opportunities that this year brings despite COVID, pandemic, whatever happens. I'm in the trenches and I'm trying to really level up. So that's what I'm thinking about 2021. What about you?
Okay, for me, I am really focused on helping others. And I know that may sound like, what is she talking about? But I just feel like at this point in my life, I've really accomplished all the things I wanted to accomplish. So I wanted to, number one, help my children be more successful. Today I spent an hour and a half coming up with packets of work for them to do on top of their schoolwork because I can identify areas where they need more support. Mm-hmm. My older son, his writing is still very poor for being in 5th grade where he needs to be. So I've created some writing prompts and some writing packets for him. My 1st grader, he's doing really well, and he already has his teacher gives him a work above his level because he can do it. And I just want to continue to push him. So as a parent, how can I better help them? How can I better support you as my husband? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Hey, I'm winning. So if you come up with more.
If I come up with more, I'm always trying to think of ways to better support you.
I want it all. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. Come on.
And so then the girls and the women in my community. So I have the Achiever Academy. If you're interested in volunteering with that, please send me a message. I'm going to be sending out an email Monday so we can have a board meeting about that. And to just see how can I help the girls in our community who can't afford period products. They're at home, so they don't have to go to school, but I'm sure they still have needs. And how can I best support those needs? And I need help with that. I can't do it all on my own. I need your help. And last but not least, but the women in my community that love women's empowerment, we love empowering each other. We had so much fun at the goal setting party. Every single one of these workshops will be the same. It's not just women, men. You're definitely welcome to attend.
Oh, so we can come?
Yes. I hope you'll be there.
At the goal setting party?
No, not the goal setting party. The financial workshops that I talked about.
We're trying to kick it too. I mean,
do men have goals? I'm just joking.
You know we got goals. You were one of my goals at one point in time. You know that?
Yeah, I know.
All right. Yeah, we definitely have goals. I got a lot of goals. Men have goals, and we want to celebrate too. So
men, type in your goals. What goals do you have?
Maybe we need to have a men's goal setting party.
Hey.
For the fellas. You know, we won't be playing Beyonce and stuff like that, but you know, it'll be a little different. We might do something. We might have to do something. If we get enough interest. When
we get Black Boy Fly launched.
Yeah, we'll definitely do some stuff around that for sure. Yeah, later in the year, after March, April. Yeah, we'll make some stuff. After Women's Month, we'll do some stuff around Father's Day.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I can commit to that. Yeah. Around Father's Day, I'll work with you. We'll come up with something empowering for men. How about that, guys? I think we can do that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, 401k. I know your course on it covers a lot, but right now I'm thinking about changing it to the max, but I'm afraid I won't. Oh, okay, no.
Hold on.
No, this is my wheelhouse. Okay.
You just asked the wrong question. No, I'm just kidding. You asked the right question, but she's gonna give you a lot of insights on this. But like maybe make it concise.
I will. I'm not gonna go into the details, but everybody needs to hear this. So. It's not a 1-for-1 deduction. So let's say you want to go to the max. The max amount you can contribute a year, you have your calculator,
yeah,
is $18,000 It's $19,500 for the year. Divide that by 12. 19,500 divided by 12. So you can put in $1,625 per month, y'all. So what happens is that gets deducted off of your gross income. It's the first thing that comes off before you pay taxes. Okay, so that means that your taxable income was then just reduced. So you won't pay as much taxes as you paid before you started contributing to the 401k. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, put it in there. Okay, so put it in the chat. For example, I have this on my website. I just want to make sure people get this because this is the single easiest way to increase your net worth is through those workplace accounts because it lessens your taxable income. You will not have to pay taxes on that, and it's not dollar for dollar. So just because you put in $1,625 into that account, it doesn't mean that your paycheck is reduced by $1,625. It's not, believe it or not. Okay, and after a while, so maybe start slow. You'll double what you have in there now. So let's say you contribute 5%, maybe you start next month with 10%. Maybe each month you increase it 1% as you learn to adjust your budget. Or you can just go cold turkey. I like the sound of that too. Just max it out. Does that sound good?
So basically, he can put in $19,500 this year, which breaks down to $1,625 a month. And if he increases his monthly contribution to $1,625, his paycheck take-home pay, his net is not going to be subtracted by $1,625 because there are taxes and other things that factor into that.
Right, okay. And that won't be taxed. So I have a whole blog post on this. I'm going to put it in the chat because it is the part that everybody's concerned about. Well, if I put more money into my 401k, then that I'm just living on less money, which to a certain extent you are, right? It will be less, but it's going to grow, and the stock market always grows over time. We may have a down year, right? We may have a down year, but over time, over years, it always goes up. It always has gone up. It will dip. It's like blood pressure is the way I like to describe it. It goes down. Sometimes it goes up and down and up and down. But over time, it improves.
I'm going to explain it again from my perspective because he's an engineer too, and so it might make sense. So imagine that you have $1,625 that you got paid within your paycheck for the month of January. And for the month of February, you're going to go to your HR team and you're going to tell them, hey, I want to increase my 401k contributions from whatever I'm investing now to $1,625. That means you're going to increase that amount to $1,625. But if you think about the way that your paycheck is broke down, you have your gross pay, which is how much you make on paper, but then your net pay is what you actually take home. So if you put in $1,625, that basically comes off of your gross amount. Then you get your taxes and your other deductions taken out. Then you get what your take-home pay is. So if you increase your 401k contribution to $1,625 a month, that is based on your gross pay. So what that then does is that reduces how much of your money is taxed. So you'll still see a lower amount in your take-home pay, but that amount won't be $1,625. And he said his company matches 4%. He's set at 7%, but he wants to do more. What I did based off of Keisha's advice was I pushed it up a few more percent. So just try to go to 10%. You're at 7, try 10.
I say double it. If you're at 7, go 14. Because we got to stretch ourselves if we want to build wealth. If you want to be able to live a financial independent lifestyle, you got to push yourself into a higher percent. All right, so start it. And here's the thing. You can always change it. Your HR may not like it, but they have to by law. If you change it to 14% this week and next week you change your mind and you want it to go back to maybe 10, you can do that. You just fill out the form and send it back and they'll update it for the next pay period. By law, they have to do it. So change it until you find what works. Can I post a picture in the chat? I'm trying because I have a picture that would explain it very well, but
yeah, just try to copy and paste it.
No, that didn't work. Okay. Well, I'm trying to.
Is it on your website somewhere?
It is. It's on the blog post that I. So you can go back and read that later.
Yeah.
There's a picture in there, and I put the calculations. A great example. So definitely 401k this year. Make that your goal to increase how much you're putting into your 401k. And here's another tip. And if you have questions about this, please put it in the chat, because I only want to talk about things you care about. I don't want to talk about things you don't care about. When you are investing in your 401k or your 403 or whatever it is that you have at work, because different workplaces have different names or numbers, always think about how many years you have until you plan to retire. So if you know you're 20, 30, hopefully not more than 30 years, but if you're 20, 30 years out, I would mainly be investing in stocks, growth stocks, because you need that growth. You'll be able to ride out the ups and downs. So don't feel bad about that. If you're getting closer to retirement, I'm getting closer to, making other decisions, but not right now. I'm still working. I have to say that. Don't plan on leaving my job yet. Still working. But when you're getting closer, you want to adjust and start investing more in bonds. And you want the bonds to be in the 401k, not in your brokerage account, because of the taxes. We all know that savings accounts are not the best way to build wealth. They're great for just having some cash on hand if an emergency happens. However, if you're trying to build wealth, you've got to invest in other things that will give you capital gains. And so bonds are great for smoothing out the ride because they don't change much. However, they throw dividends at you, which is nice if you're retired, because then you can just live off the dividends. But if you're not retired, you have to pay taxes on those dividends. So you want to move those bonds into your 401k versus a brokerage account. But if you got a long range, just focus on equities. And in the 401k workshop, we'll talk about specifically, and you will be able to bring what your workplace offers and say, here's the list of options that I have to invest in. What do these mean? And we can talk about those. So it's a hands-on. It's not me talking to you. I don't teach that way. I like participation. So you're going to bring examples. You're going to bring things to the workshop, and we can then go through it. And so you can have a plan, and you can go back to work and say, here's my plan. Here's what I want to invest in.
What other questions do you all have? Could be money, could not money related.
We'll take just a few more minutes because we're getting closer to. We like to stay somewhat on time.
This has been a good conversation, by the way, in terms of just folks talking about what they accomplished this year, their goals. You didn't say what you thought 2021 was going to mean for you. 2021,
I don't know. That's a good question. God has just been really giving me a lot of ideas on things I can do, like the financial workshops, because I talk about it. You've heard me on Clubhouse talking about it. You've heard me talk about my financial independence journey. It's not something I ever talked about because I didn't think anybody really cared. But with COVID and everything that happened, I'm speaking out on it. And so for this year, I just want to share more of that information because I can just spit it off the top of my head, because for the past 5 years, I've been aggressively investing in the stock market to the point where I'm really surprised at how fast I was able to reach a point where I could just live off of capital gains and dividends and interest. I could do that. That is so strange to me. It's a very strange feeling, but So for me, this year just means sharing more of what I've learned to help other people. Like I said, I grew up poor, And I have a lot of insecurities around being poor. And I want to make sure that I'm just sharing the information, because in our Black community, we don't share enough. We don't share enough of what we do that works. And so that's why we wanted to do this, so that we can share information, and everybody sharing in the comments. So thank you.
Oh, Bitcoin. It's neither. I don't. No, I don't do Bitcoin. Keisha doesn't do Bitcoin. I'm in some groups with some other entrepreneurs, and they talk about Bitcoin every day. A friend of mine wanted me to invest in Bitcoin when it first came out. That's a whole other stream. There are people doing well. There are people losing money, just like in the stock market. There are people doing well, and there are people losing money. That's not something we personally invest in. But with anything that you do, Bitcoin, stock market, uh, investing in businesses, loaning money to people, just understand what risk are involved with what you're doing. I mean, there's a lot of people making money doing a lot of different things. You just have to find, I think, what works for you. Yeah, I'm glad we came back to this format, and our intention is to keep this going throughout the year. We talk a lot, obviously, to people, to each other. We teach, so we're always teaching in the school setting. But I think, just like Keisha, I really enjoy communicating with people in our community and just sharing insights and learning, right? So we get to share what we know. You guys ask questions, and you also share. We're just trying to keep the community conversations going so that we can learn from one another. We're all trapped at home. We're not really able to travel. Folks are looking for things to engage with, and we want to be a positive source for everybody. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So whatever you want to learn, let us know and we'll talk about it here. The money thing has been something that God is just like, you have to share this because you didn't come from money. And now you invest in the stock market. I don't invest in Bitcoin. I've never invested in Bitcoin. I'm in technology. I have a PhD in technology. I don't know a whole lot about Bitcoin. I haven't really researched it. But my philosophy on investing is I don't do day trading, and I really stay away from individual stocks just because it's more stable for me if I focus on the S&P 500. I know there are companies in the S&P 500 that are doing well, and that we all know what those companies are. And I just kind of stick with that fund or that ETF of that fund. And I have a few other funds that I invest in that I'll, talk about later. But I try to stay away from individual stocks just because they can be very volatile. But people have made a lot of money. If you pick the right stock at the right time, you make a lot of money. If you pick Tesla at the right time and got in, then you were very happy. If you didn't at the right time, then, well, I don't think you could have really gone wrong with Tesla at this point. But if you get into Tesla now and then something happens and the engines are blowing up and then the stock drops, well, then you're not very well diversified. And so the S&P 500 is just a little smoother for me. It's still going up over time, those companies. And that's kind of my strategy. And there are certain funds that are within that I stick with, that have done very well. And there's some innovation funds that are into DNA and some very innovative thinking companies that I do invest in. Female-owned fund that has done very well. That's ARC, AARR. Let me type it in into the Facebook chat.
There's ARC, ARC X.
I'm only in these two particular ones. And so it invests in Tesla. The ARC invests in Tesla and invests in some of those really innovative companies. But they can adjust how much and how often or what the weight is for that specific company within the fund. So I'm not trying to look at the news or looking at the financial reports, right? Because when you're investing in a stock, you really need to understand the financial stability of the company. You can't just focus on the news. You need to know if it's a great company to invest in. And so I don't have that kind of time. And I don't do a bunch of charting and all that because I'm just not trying to make this my full-time job.
And in addition to finance, we would like to talk about a whole host of topics, right? We're married, we've been divorced, we've got kids, we have advanced degrees, we borrow money to go to school, we grew up with not a lot. We figured out life, we work out, we love to travel. So we want to open this up so that when we do have these conversations, we can talk about any and everything. I don't know that there's really much that we can't talk about. Now, we're not going to get super personal, but, we do want it to be an informative conversation. So, we'll wrap it up here for today, but just stay on the lookout. We're going to continue to put this out and talk more about what we're doing. Go ahead. You got one more thing.
Businesses. I'm big on Black-owned businesses, especially female-owned businesses. Please drop your business in the chat because I want you to get that exposure. If you have a side hustle or a business, whatever that is, put that in here. I'm going to put down, Jamie is not on because she's working, but I'm going to put in, she created some budget binders and envelopes. So if you like the cash method of that, I'm going to put that in the Facebook chat as well.
If you're on right now, go ahead and post your business and we'll shout you out before we wrap it up, because we both are in business schools teaching business. I'm teaching entrepreneurship. We love to figure out how to empower our community through business. So drop your businesses. Nate asked about LLCs versus nonprofits, pros and cons. Yes, that is something that we can talk about that, and I can give you some perspective.
We both have those.
Yeah, we both have LLCs and the nonprofit piece. At a high level, Nate, I'll just say, think about what your goal is and what you're trying to accomplish, and then you identify the business model that supports it. There's also hybrid forms like a L3C or public benefit corporation that might be beneficial based on what you're looking at. So
purpose-driven profits.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't even plug that. So I have we're obviously not salespeople, but just people who want to help our community. But we do have things we are involved with. I do coach entrepreneurs. I have a purpose-driven profits coaching program. It's on my website. Go to isaacaddae.com.
You have a workbook.
I have a workbook
that you can download.
Correct. I have a workbook and a coaching program that's structured around the workbook. So go to my website, isaacaddae.com. If you
workbook, I want to link it in here.
Oh, go to speaking. Yeah, if you go to isaacaddae.com/speak, you'll find the workbook on there. It's right there. But yeah,
we'll bring that up to the top.
Okay, that's fine. We can bring that up. And then my classmate Venetia asked about student loan debt. Keisha, in one of her workshops, is going to address that. So if you go to her website, it's level 2.
It's a level 2 workshop,
Level 2. She has some insights. But yeah, so that's something that we can also talk about going forward. Nate, reach out to me though, man. I'd love to talk with you about what you're trying to do. Yeah, I can.
Just type your website and my website.
Okay.
So they can.
Let's see.
Is it typing?
Let me do this.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that we'll definitely keep our event calendar updated with the next office hours event. So on my website, did you put the calendar on your website yet?
No, but we can post it.
So if you go to LakishaSimmons.com, it says events. There's an event calendar, and it has where you can find Isaac or me any day that we're speaking or talking or having a workshop or any of that, because we're always doing something. Why don't we have a calendar?
Right.
So that way you can go to the calendar and see all the upcoming workshops, the book club. Some of you just came on Instagram. We're doing a book discussion on February 1st. No, you do not have to have read the entire book by then. But we're going to discuss Black wealth on February 1st in this same type of format. So you can RSVP for the book club on my website, LakishaSimmons.com as well. And it's just free. Just grab the book from somewhere, the library or wherever, Amazon, and then we can just talk more about elevating our people.
Yeah, that's really what it's all about. That's what we're about, right?
Yeah.
How do we get ourselves up? How do we get our whole community up? So we'll be talking more about that. But send us a DM or email or text with questions. We'll make sure that we tackle some of these going forward. You'll see more of this office hours format throughout the year. We're likely going to do Friday afternoons. That seems to work well. So
okay, great. Here's
a business.
Yeah,
okay,
a business.
Mary Renee, she does woodwork, photography, and web design. Okay, all right. I didn't know that. Nice. You're thanks for sharing that. MaryRenee.com.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. I love the brand colors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Very, very nice. Okay.
Yeah, I had to check it out because I just texted somebody about getting a website done. So I want to, nice. I like what this looks like.
I like those earrings too. So check out the businesses that are plugged into the chat.
MaryRenee.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. If there's nothing else, we will end our office hours today.
Yeah, this was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll continue to do this. So stay tuned. Tell some people. Ask questions.
Yeah.
Office hours live. We're just going to keep it light and keep it simple, but this was fun.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Let's see.